Hey there. Alright, so we're going to make a fireplace damper today for the base of a fireplace to pass a pellet liner through. This damper plate is going to be made out of this galvanized metal here. This is 14 gauge, and we're going to construct a damper plate that is roughly 35 by 8. Our interior measurements are 32 wide. We're just a hair under 32 wide and 7 inches in height. We're going to make it just a little bit bigger because the plate's going to sit on back side of the damper cutoff. And to do that, we're just going to make it out of the steel here by getting ourselves our total height of 8 inches. And then we're going to make it 35 inches wide. And we want to make it 3 inches bigger than the actual width, because how we're going to fashion it together, we're going to fashion it together in 2 pieces. Rather than trying to fit the liner through a fixed hole opening, we're actually going to make that hole into 2 sections so we can slide them together once the pellet liner is actually attached to the appliance, so that the liner doesn't kick the plate off in the back. So we cut our piece of metal out. This is what our damper plate's going to be made out of. As you can see, maybe you can't, my line is not straight at all. And it doesn't really matter, that's why I made it a little bit bigger. It's going to be hidden on the back side anyway. And if we were looking at our damper opening right here, in the center of the damper on the fireplace is going to be a hinge that the damper actually moved in and out of, and it also held the rod that we would turn the damper in and out with. We need to be able to clear that with our liner, and we're installing a Harman Centra insert today, so our takeoff is going to be on the appliance on the right hand side. So halfway between center and the outside edge is where our liner is going to come through. Alright, and we're actually going to take about 2 inches back on there from center. So our liner is going to go through right about there. And it doesn't have to be exact, but I've done this enough that I know it's going to be right about there. And then this right here is a liner fitting for a different type of liner system, but it happens to be 4 inches around. So that's why I'm using this, because I'm going to trace it right here. And you also want to make sure that this hole is in the center from here to here. Not too far up, not too far down, because we want it to be in the center of the damper opening. And then what I'm going to do is right down the center of this. My lead broke, but that's alright. We're going to cut these 2 pieces in half. And I'll show you why we're doing this, because it's much easier to make this in 2 parts. Just like so. Oh, let's grab the other snips. These are our fine cutting snips, and then we're going to cut out the 4-inch hole that we have registered marked on here on the steel. Whenever you're cutting metal like this, you really ought to be wearing gloves. I'm not. This metal is extremely sharp. So there's one half. Here is the other half. Now, these 2 pieces are going to come together like this. However, if we have them together like this, alright, we don't have any way to screw them together. And if we go like this, with enough room to screw them together, you can see that now we don't have a circle anymore. So what I usually do is I take this and I overlay it by about 1 inch, like so. We're going to place our collar back on top of this, and then we're going to score another line for one side of it. Where did the thing go? Where is the
pencil went, you broke the tip.
Oh, nice. All right, we'll use another piece of metal. Just like so. Perfect. There we go. And then, instead of coming in like this, that's no good. We're going to start right here at the same cut, and we're going to cut laterally, and then we're going to ease into the other circle. So, there we go, like so. Now, we can fit our two pieces and we can have a circular opening. The next thing that we need to do is we have to figure out a way to fasten this into the damper. And the way that I choose to do this is by placing a hole in here and a hole in here, and we're going to thread a bolt through the back side of these, and then using this piece of metal here with the holes already in it, we're going to cut this in half, and we're going to make two spacer bars that will take up the opening of the damper, and the thread will come through them, and as we screw them down, it will cinch the back plate up against the back of the damper.
We're on.
Okay, so now we're going to drill our holes into this plate, and I put these in the center, somewhere between this hole and the end of this. Say right about, I don't know, right about there. That looks good. So, and then clean up the hole, and then we'll do another one right over here on this side, somewhere near the hole. Like so. Clean up the hole. Perfect. And then I also cut my two pieces of metal here, and then we'll just assemble up our bolts and put those into the metal here. I'll show you this. This one goes in here. That one goes on there. Fasten it with a wing nut. And then the same thing over here. Washer. Thread it through. And a wing nut. Okay. Now we'll go inside and we're going to put this thing in and I'll show you how it goes together. Okay, so we have our top plate fashioned in, and now let's go take a look and see what we got. See, so we've sealed the left corner with silicone. You can see we got our bracket on there, which is pulling it against the damper plate. And then over here we're going to fill that left gap right there where the liner comes through. And then as you can see over here, this is where we're going to seal the other side, and that's our other little piece over on that side. And this whole process here took about 20 minutes start to finish.